Hi BookTube, my name is Juan from Just One Reader, and today I am filming my April book haul. So the first book that I am going to show you is The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey. This is a book about zombies, and it's a book that has a very original premise. I think it starts with a girl called Melanie, and Melanie is sitting on a cell, and she goes to school, and she apparently has a pretty normal routine, very conventional routine. Apparently she goes to this classroom, and there's the teacher and her classmates, but then these odd things start happening, or the author starts to describe some very weird details, like Melanie is strapped to her chair and she can't move and she's trapped, and so eventually we find out more about what's really going on. I think it's a fairly original premise. This is the book that I'm currently reading right now. I'm only on page 79, but for some reason I am not really enjoying it as much as I thought I would, or as much as I want to enjoy it. So let me know if you have read this, and if if this gets better, or what's going to happen with that one. Another one that I bought recently was Slate House by David Mitchell. This is a standalone, but people always talk about, if you read The Bone Clocks by David Mitchell, you will enjoy this 1,000 times more. And The Bone Clocks is a book that I really want to read in 2016. So I saw this one and I thought, well, why not? Also, it's a really beautiful book, and I love beautiful objects. The next one I am really excited about, and I actually think I might end up reading this one maybe in April or May, because I made that horrible mistake that we all do when you pick up a new book and you read the first paragraph and it haunts you, it traps you, it captivates you in such a way that you want to read it, but you can't because there's no time, and there's responsibilities and obligations and work and study, and you can't, and it's been haunting me. So I think I will pick it up fairly soon, and I'm talking about Swamplandia by Karen Russell. This is a magical realism influenced, at least, novel. I haven't read any Karen Russell yet. I do have both of her short story collections, St. Lucy's Home for Girls Raised by Wolves, and the other one, Vampires in Lemon Grove. I haven't read either one yet, but I really want to get my hands on some, well, not get my hands on, but read Karen Russell this year. The next one that I bought recently is The Vegetarian by Han Kang. And I love the color. I'm not sure if you can appreciate the color through the screen, but the actual color of this particular edition is stunning. It's kind of a bright orangey red, like a magenta. I just love it. The cover is very beautiful, and everyone is talking very highly about this book. And it's a very short novel, and apparently it deals with a lot of issues and themes that I am very interested on. And here in the inside flap it says, a beautiful, unsettling novel in 3 acts about rebellion and taboo, violence and eroticism, and the twisting metamorphosis of a soul. So I'm really excited about that one. Next one is by Alice Smith, and last year I read There But For The by Alice Smith, and I absolutely loved it. I fell in love with Alice Smith's writing style and the way that she played with language, and that book was actually one of my favorite books of the year. And I discovered that they had a copy of How to Be Both in my favorite bookstore here in Mexico City, so I immediately bought it. It was very expensive because they get these books from the US, so it was quite expensive, but honestly I don't care. I'm really excited about that one. The next one has probably my favorite cover of the moment. I just look at this cover, and for some reason that I'm not aware of. I just love it. I am captivated by it. And the book is called Of Things Gone Astray. The author is Janina Matthewson, and the cover is just stunning, in my opinion. This is exactly the kind of cover that I like. It's really pretty. And it says, Mrs. Featherby had been having pleasant dreams until she woke to discover the front of her house had vanished overnight. So apparently it has a lot of magical realism in it, and it's about, well, people losing things. And I find loss to be a really interesting and affecting theme. The next one is a collection of short stories by Julie Oringer, I don't know, and it's How to Breathe Underwater. This book was also quite expensive because I got it like at a special bookstore, and I got this upon the recommendation of many booktubers, particularly Mercedes from Mercy's Bookish Musings. This was one of her favorite books from 2015, and I've been sort of going through some of the stories, just reading the titles and the first couple of sentences, and it does look like something I will really enjoy. It's not very long. It contains about 8 or 9 short stories, and they are realistic. Apparently, maybe they do have some magical realism, because apparently everything that we have in short stories now, in the famous ones at least, has to do with magical realism, which I adore. But yeah, it seems pretty realistic, but very heartfelt and very touching. The next one is another collection of short stories, Get in Trouble by Kelly Link. I recently read Kelly Link's one of her other collections. It's called Magic for Beginners, and so far it's my favorite book of this year. I absolutely adored it. You can check my review of Magic for Beginners in my recent reads 10 through 15 video. But yeah, needless to say, I thought that Kelly Link's writing was so beautiful, so weird, playful, masterful, that I wanted to get my hands on all of her books, and I think I have. So I'm going to read her entire backlist this year, and yeah, I mean, she only writes short stories apparently, which I have no problem with. The next novel is probably a novel that I'm going to read as soon as I can. And I am a very busy person, but I really want to set some time for reading this one, because I'm feeling a very strong urge to pick it up. I think this is exactly the type of book that will terrify me and that will shock me. And it's Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. This is a sci-fi literary novel. It has to do with this part of the US that is in, well, not quarantined necessarily, but it's been kind of blocked and set apart from the rest of the country, because apparently something's happening there, something creepy and something very, very weird that I cannot even describe the feel of is happening there. And it's about this expedition that goes there and tries to find out what's happening. And these books that are just so unsettling, they have such a profound effect on me that I really want to read it. Everyone says that this trilogy is fantastic and that it's terrifying and that it's so weird, and I just love the idea of being horrified by a sci-fi book. The next one is a murder mystery by Agatha Christie. I also read an Agatha Christie novel last year, and then there were none. And I really enjoyed it. It was also one of my favorite books last year, and so I wanted to read more of her work because I think it's really refreshing. You can read it in one sitting or 2 sittings. It's super fast, and the quality is very good. And this one is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. So I haven't really heard anyone talk about this one, but if you know anything about it, please let me know. Then I have 10th of December, another collection of short stories. This is by George Saunders. I have never read any George Saunders before, and this is, I think, his most recent one. And I've been hearing a lot of great things about this collection. It's one of the 10 best books of 2013 according to the New York Times Book Review. And I heard or read somewhere that this was advertised, or this was praised as the best book you will read this year. So really excited. And the last book that I have for you in this book haul is Middlesex by Jeffrey Eugenides. I haven't read anything by Jeffrey Eugenides. I haven't read The Virgin Suicides. And this won the Pulitzer Prize. I think the plot has a lot of the ingredients that I love in books, kind of magical realism, or at least a hint of it. There's this aspect of sexuality and change and gender, and also family sagas and family histories. Those are all things that I'm very interested in and that I love in books. So if you have any comments on that book, please let me know. And that's it, guys. That's my book haul for this video. Please let me know if you have heard or read, or if you know something about any of these books that I mentioned, because I have no idea which one I should read first. I kind of want to read Annihilation first because, you know, it's the one that it's just haunting me the most. But let me know if there's anything that you would like to tell me about these books to urge me to read it, because I have no idea where to start, apart from Annihilation. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next video.